date.
It's all right. Anyways, moving on. Okay, here we're going to get to the questionnaire. What is the minimum yearly income to be your future husband?
6 figures, assuming I'm also making that much.
Yeah, but that's vague. That's anywhere from 100,000 to 999,000.
Well, that's the minimum, I said.
So 100,000 would be the minimum.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter.
Okay, hide the super chat, please. Thank you for your super chat. It doesn't matter. So you'll date a guy who works at McDonald's. Do you have a kid?
I have two girls, but I mean...
You're married, right?
I'm married, and I'm a business owner, so, I mean, I really don't care how much the guy makes.
What about you?
100,000, just because that's what my husband makes.
Okay, what about you?
Oh, nice. I mean, I wrote 35,000, but that's actually a lie because my current partner makes less. So I guess the minimum would be less.
I'm married, but 50K.
Yeah, next.
I put down 80,000, but I kind of want to switch it to 60 because it just seems more realistic.
I didn't put down a number because I was thinking of it depends on where we're living at and how much would be like the basics to be able to take care of a family. So where we live at right now, I'd say like 60,000. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I didn't put down a number either.
You don't have one. Also, Hannah, I wouldn't say who, but I noticed on your Instagram story you're taking photos with a man. Is that just like a friend or?
That was my little brother.
Oh, that's your brother. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, is that you're on a little vacation with a? Okay. You don't have one, so you'll date a guy who works at McDonald's then?
No.
Okay,
But
so
I mean,
there is a
I've dated a
minimum.
police officer, and I've dated somebody who owns a very successful company, so I don't have a minimum.
But I mean, police officers can make good money. They can make. I mean,
they can make enough
they
to
can make 6
survive,
figures.
right?
They average like 65K,
Yeah, I was
so
gonna
yeah.
say, it's not that I don't see that as a lot of money, but I don't have a minimum.
Okay. What about you?
I think I put 60K.
Okay, next.
I put 60K, and as long as they're not relying on me for anything, dating, obviously, if we're married and things happen, but dating, as long as they're not relying on me financially, then
Sure.
Yeah.
Angelica?
I put down 45K. My presence online is pretty solid, so I just need a man who's going to demonstrate good characteristics to...
Angelica, can I have you just tilt your mic down a little bit? And then Riley, do you care about a woman's income?
It'd have to be less than 80,000. I don't want some boss bitch.
Can you delve into that? Because I actually I've always wondered about the men who get, like, genuinely, who get...
So I'll give you an example. Like my girlfriend, she currently works at In-N-Out, and she has a degree in geography. She can get a job making a lot more money, but she told me, I don't want to work up some corporate career ladder and get distracted by it. I'm just going to work at In-N-Out until I get married.
That was a maximum, though. Do you have a minimum?
No, I want it to be zero.
Zero?
Yeah, that'd be great.
You want to provide. You're a provider.
Right. Angel, I will
Does
provide.
she bring you like burgers and?
No, they're a corporation. They can't. They don't give out.
But also a degree in
But she could buy
geography.
it for you,
A
right?
degree-
And, like,
She
bring it
could.
home? Okay.
Never happens though.
Oh,
I have a question.
Well, it's going through here. You don't want to eat
Riley,
that.
I have a question. Why you wouldn't date a woman that makes more money than you, though?
Because she's probably a feminist.
I'm not feminist.
No.
If a woman is making
What
$100
makes
grand
you
a year,
assume that, though?
because if you're making $100 grand a year, that means they focused on their education. They probably went to college. They probably got fucked 30 times.
So you don't want them to go to college?
Why does that equal that?
She's educated, hardworking, ambitious, has aspirations and goals.
I have to admit,
I don't want a woman who
Riley.
I want a woman who has goals of having, hey, I want to have 7 to 10 kids. I'd be like, great. I want you to be my wife. I don't want a woman who has the goals like, I want to make a bunch of money.
But that was my goals growing up. I grew up very Mormon. That was literally ingrained in our brains. Like, I
Have
got
7 to
married
10
at
kids.
20.
Yeah.
I'm one of 12 kids. I got married at 20. I had a kid at 22 and 24. And I felt like in a lot of ways I screwed myself over because when I dealt
Oh,
with
he's a drug addict.
Well,
It's kind of a big one.
Yeah, but
Well,
when
I
you're
understand
young.
what I'm saying. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm saying I put myself on the back burner. I don't have aspirations of becoming a boss bitch, as you say. I want to be a mom. I want to be a wife. But I'm saying I do feel like there's a level of like, I should have probably prepared myself a little bit better, so I'm not in this position.
No, that's feminist fear mongering.
No, that's what I'm saying is that when being raised Mormon is a different thing. Like when you have a Nerf ball, as you did have tragically, be thrown at you, it throws you off your path. But I agree with Riley because I have always made more money than the people that I've been dating. It's just natural. But at the same time, I can recognize the power imbalance
in any other woman, has already been mentioned, if they put you on a pedestal, you're no longer attracted to them. And that's been said over and over again. So if you're making more money than them, you automatically have more power than them, and that emasculates them, and you're no longer attracted to them.
Women shouldn't even have this type of backup, because you're saying like, oh, I want to have some type of backup. Like, here's what most women do. Most women,
I'm not saying that.
I think
a lot
you
of
should have
women.
a backup if the man is showing signs of abuse and you're already locked in.
You
But
can't
that's
only just
after
start
that.
up
The woman's backup should be her parents, but also a lot of
It's
women.
not possible for everyone.
So are you saying women
A lot
should
of
have
women-
secret bank
You're
accounts?
coming from a place
No,
that you've never
if a
been
man
in.
starts to show those signs, start planning P, basically. If a man starts to show infidelity or abuse or whatever, start to plan otherwise. Try to get out,
an
basically.
exit. Okay.
Exactly.
Every-
But if a
you're
man,
planning-
but you shouldn't go into the relationship with the mindset of, oh, he's going to do this to me, so I have to put this
Yes,
But have
back
you
in.
leave?
that's
You don't
my
have to have a bank
Invalidates the
account. Where are you getting this
relationship.
money to
But
leave?
let's say something happens to you where you're ill and you can't work. Then what happens? Then she has
Life
no
insurance.
experience. Okay.
Well, here's the problem, though. Is too many women go into marriage with this framing of he's going to cheat on you, he's going to beat
Yeah.
you, he's going to blah, blah, blah.
And they want the backup
and
or
it's
whatever.
a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I think if you are going into a marriage thinking, well, I need a backup just in case all this happens, because you always like hear these stories, but
Yeah.
they're really the
Fear-mongering
outlier.
stuff. Yeah,
And
okay,
they're
and I wanted to ask.
And I understand where you're coming from because you feel like you came out
do you know
of
what
the
the birth rate in
relationship
America
without
is?
everything.
The what?
Do you know what the birth rate in America is for each woman? How many kids that they have? It's 1.6, right? So the average woman has less kids than what is for the replacement levels, okay? So almost every single woman that I've met that's working a big career or in college right now, they're just doing it as a backup, and then they'll get married later. So this is what happens. Girl's 18 years old. She's like, oh, I'm going to take a gap year before I go to college. I'm going to go to Europe and fuck a bunch of guys. Then they come back. They go to college for 6 years or whatever. Then guess what? They're 25 when they get out of college, but they have a bunch of student loan debt. So then they wait 5 or 6 or 7 years to pay it off because it's like, well, I want to pay off my student loan debt before I get married. And before you know it, they're 32 years old. Then they find a guy. They date him for about 2 years. Then they're like, 34 years old. And then they get engaged for a year. Then she's 35. She has her very first kid at 35 years old. Then when she tries to have a second kid at 38 years old, she's like, oh, wait, I'm infertile.
By the time a woman hits 30,
I had a baby at 37.
By the time a woman hits
38.
Can I say something real quick? By the time a woman hits 30, if she is unmarried and doesn't have kids, she has a 50-50 chance of ever like actually getting married and then having kids.
The average woman in America has a kid after the age of 30 years old.
Yeah, and that's
terrible.
part of the reason the maternal mortality rate has gone up is because women are having children.
And autism and disabilities.
Yeah,
and these,
they're having
these
them later.
I have asthma.
Why are women having
This
kids
scares me.
later? Because we
Wait,
can't afford them young.
guys, only one person at a time. We can't, nobody can understand.
The higher chance of autism doesn't occur until after 35. So I do agree with that point slightly.
But if you have kids, after 32, the chances for miscarriages and pregnancy complications start to rise, and that's traumatizing. That's 100% true.
Okay.
100%.
Let me speak on because I actually had a baby at 22, and then I had a baby at 25, and then I had a baby at 37.
Oh.
We are not made to have babies that late in life. I had two little ones in my 20s. I felt fine, energetic. I have one little one now, and I'm dead beat, exhausted. And his dad is involved, so dead beat, exhausted.
And you kickstarted it young. That means your reproductive system was already used to it. With a woman trying to start from scratch at like 32,
hormones all over the place.
Terrible.
What about surrogacy? Pray for me, guys.
Complications.
Surrogacy.
We're not going to talk about
Surrogacy is human
surrogacy.
trafficking.
That's expensive.
Surrogacy is an industry because of birth control destroying women's uteruses.
Surrogacy
Also
is
their
human
brains.
trafficking.
Yeah, it's
literally human
exploitation.
trafficking. I hate it so much. That's
Yeah.
what
It
made
is.
me. That's what made me right wing in part.
Surrogacy is very similar to prostitution, and that's
It
that a
is.
woman is
Yeah.
selling out her
Worse.
body, becoming mentally traumatized after doing the job, and getting paid a large amount of money.
This man
It
is
is people using a woman's body.
Feminists
and
don't
I don't
care.
think
No,
all of them are
women
meant to
love her.
I mean, some people
It's
want
weird.
to do that.
No, feminists.
No,
is
but that's the
negative.
thing.
No.
Just
It's
it's a
No, but
tiny
we should not
percentage.
allow them
No,
to
people,
because
I know
they are-
women who want to do that, but it's because they're poor and they just need the money and they're just so numb that they're like, you know what? I'll just do it for 60K. The moment they give birth, the hormones start to generate, and it's like 60K, 80K, 100K. I can't relinquish this baby anymore. There's something dysfunctional.
It's unhealthy for the baby.
My sister's not the case. And not
Okay.
only that, because of the contract, even if she goes back on it, which a lot of women do, she can't go back because the contract says that that's not your child anymore.
Yeah, that's-
so it's terrible. It's
And
even
I
if
wanted
they
to go
want-
back. So you're kind of saying like, oh, it's their choice if they want to do that. And so I wanted to ask, if I go to like some poor neighborhood in LA and I know somebody's not going to be able to pay their rent on time and they're afraid of becoming homeless, and I say, hey, I want you to eat a bunch of crayons. I'm going to pay you $100. I'm going to live stream it. It's going to be great. Do you think that's immoral for me to do that? Even if they decide, oh yeah, I do want to do that. I am desperate enough for that money.
Well, yes,
It's extortion.
It absolutely is extortion.
Yes,
but
with surrogacy
the
as well.
cases of surrogacy that I've personally seen are like people that are close to a person who can't
And so,
have a child.
do you know the
so
people?
they-
Do you know the woman
It's
that
not
was
about the-
pregnant? Do
it's
you know
a-
the woman that was pregnant for 9 months and got her child stripped away from her, or the woman who got her egg and got her husband's sperm and had some young woman's life destroyed from
I
the
don't-
psychological trauma?
I don't know anybody on a super personal level, but I have heard stories of the pregnant people who care about.
You've heard stories?
Of course, women.
My sister-in-law.
I would argue philosophically, is it okay to allow something just because someone consents to it? Is there not a responsibility on society to say this behavior is not allowed?
There is certain circumstances where consent is what matters.
But what about the MAID program, for example? People who are mentally ill.
Angelica, you gotta let people finish their thought.
So when it's not about money, I think that it's perfectly acceptable for consent to be the only
That's my sister-in-law
thing that
did that
matters.
for her sister.
Yes.
Well, also, she's probably not
That's
mentally
different.
traumatized because now
When
it's her
it's
niece.
not
She's able to see her niece all the
incentivized by
time.
money or
saying
any other kind of power.
That's different. But what about like something like the MAID program where it's not incentivized by money?
I don't know what that
The
is.
MAID program is something that's becoming more and more popular where they're basically allowing like to self-terminate basically based off of just how you feel. It happened in Spain with this really famous case where a girl was just violated. And yes.
Okay.
So, and not only that, they harvest your organs before you're fully expired, basically.
Well,
so in a functional society, in a good society, do we allow people who are behaving in a way that can be so easily exploited to behave that way?
Absolutely not, because when you're in that state, that is a mental illness, and you need to be treated with care.
Yes.
You can't make it's like when you're in court and they're deciding whether or not you're mentally able to like testify or whatever. It matters what mental state you're in.
Do you think we're normalizing mental illness as a means to behave in certain ways,
Yes.
meanwhile stigmatizing common sense so as to facilitate people to hurt themselves and profit from that?
Yes.
I think we stigmatize mental health a lot as a society, and this goes back to, I don't want to bring up the trans thing again, but when you're like, oh, why is that a mental health thing? It's not. It's okay to call things mental.
Yeah.
I have PTSD. That's a mental health problem. It's okay to say
Wait,
that.
you have PTSD from what?
Marines and the Marines.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh, from the Marines?
Did you get paper cuts from the mail? Like, what's going on with that?
I was sexually assaulted.
Okay, sorry. Sorry.
Is that okay with you?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I mean, you said from the Marines.
Do you know how many women are sexually assoulted in the military?
Yeah, that's why they shouldn't be in the military. I'm sorry.
Maybe be careful.
You can't get mad at me for something I have no idea about.
Yeah, that's why you ask and you don't say shit like that.
like an assumption.
And then we're attacked.
Yeah, I did ask her. She said the Marines. She didn't say, oh, I was
Yeah,
raped.
and then you said,
She
what, did you
oh,
get
the
paper
Marines.
cuts or something?
She said the Marines, as in it's from her duty.
To the side of this conversation.
Well, it was. I got attacked by a
No matter
man.
what it is, no matter what the
And then I was
mental
slut
illness
shamed
is,
afterwards. Is that okay with you?
As you were saying, I'm sorry.
No matter what the mental illness is, you have to you can't just fully let somebody make their own decisions when it is based off of that mental illness.
Yes.
Whether it's PTSD or gender dysphoria or any of these things, you have to take that into consideration when they're making choices.
Do you think a woman's natural instinct to give birth and then have it be taken away from her might be a
Okay,
symptom
I
of
got to
being
move
mentally
on.
ill?
We're off topic here. In any case, a woman's career, money, status. Yeah, I think we were just. Riley, you're just making the point of not really caring about a woman's income. Do any women have any objections to this?
No.
About men not caring about a woman?
Yeah, like for example, one of the questions or statements is a woman's career, money, status makes her more attractive to men. Many of you agreed to this. I think generally speaking, men don't really care all that much about a woman's career, her money, or her status insofar as it making her more attractive.
I disagree.
Some don't, some do.
I get used a lot for that.
Yeah, but it doesn't. But they're using you out of a necessity, like a financial necessity. But it doesn't make you more attractive.
It can though.
No,
'cause it
so
shows
many
your
men have
values.
said
It
that it's
shows-
so attractive that you are independent.
I'm
That
speaking in generalities. Yeah, there's hobosexual men
Like,
who
it shows like
use women
hardworking.
for-
It shows that you're hardworking. It shows that you're
You're
disciplined.
ethic.
It shows that
that
you like.
that's not an attraction trigger.
If a man wants
Can
a
be.
hardworking
Can actually
woman,
those
that's
things
a
can
red
make you a
That's
better
not
mother
an
too.
attraction trigger.
If you have those traits,
hey,
you can also be a
Tiffany,
better
can you
mother.
get him some water, please? Yeah, men don't really care about those
would I
things.
like to not work and
Most-
rely on a
most
man?
don't.
Yes, I
The ones you
would.
surround
I
yourself
think
with.
men that want to use you care about those things, but
Nah, most men, it's not like,
Not
wow,
real
she's
men.
really
Yes, I agree with
hardworking. Like,
Yeah, men do say this. Like
Wow.
they genuinely.
yeah, ambition. We want you ambitious in other ways.
I've never
Like,
heard a man say that ever.
Yeah.
Like
I've
ever.
heard guys say exactly what you're saying all the time.
Say what?
That
Like you want women ambitious in other ways. Like they want somebody who's passionate, has ambition, but doesn't have to be related directly to like a workforce.
Ambition for the family, ambition for me.
Right.
They're not mutually exclusive.
Like
They
loyalty.
should-
I've heard it. I've heard men like basically respect women for their accomplishments, but I've never heard it be a deal breaker for a man. For a woman,
Right,
it's a
I
deal
understand
breaker.
that, but it can foster respect and
It can definitely, but also what they're basically saying is this something that in general is like a value system for a woman or for a man, and it's not. It's like an added bonus to a man, but ultimately if it gets in the way of the
That's all I'm saying.
relationship,
As
that's
long
a
as
negative.
it can be an added
Yeah, but I
bonus,
feel like as
that
a
exists.
person that is sitting here and they're looking at the woman, they know that they want to provide for them. They don't care.
It can easily be a
I mean,
downgrade
I'm
for
not saying
women,
it's
though.
true for all men. I'm saying just both types of men exist.
A lot of successful men date women who are super low profile.
Well, most successful men date in their status.
Wait, like Mark Zuckerberg.
That doesn't necessarily mean that they make as much money as them.
No, but they're basically looking for the pedigree. So they'll have sex with whatever, but they have to, for the status of it, basically marry someone within that sphere. But if you have notoriety, like for example Jeff Bezos, you'll basically date whoever you want because you're in another level.
It's more about attraction and who you want to live your life with. When you're successful, you're not looking for somebody who's also successful. It's more about
who you can parent with.
Well, I can agree with that too.
who you can build a life with, who you're attracted to, who you're.
The amount of men that I'm like, I do not need him, goodbye, and like I've given up on relationships because I physically, like, literally do not need them is. Well, it's kind of freeing, but also at the same time,
exactly. With money.
And that's why, exactly.
If
I'm
you're
not
in a
afraid of them.
relationship,
Well, what
I'm
is
not afraid of
it?
them.
He's just cautious.
Well, no,
around it.
it is unattractive for a woman to be independent.
Well, what
That
if
is
we have
unattractive.
to be independent?
Yeah, I was gonna say, in all seriousness, how
Yeah, do you want me to live off the government? I'm over here like not living
Okay.
off the government, paying into the government.
how is
like
it
welfare
unattractive for a
system.
woman to
I'm
be
not.
independent?
I think
Okay.
more attractive.
So-
It's like shit.
I pay high taxes.
Hold on.
You got. There we go. All right, I'm going to answer the questions. I heard about half of them. You guys were yapping a lot. So basically, earlier, all of you guys are saying, oh, yeah, a man likes a woman who's dependent. And you're like, oh, And then I'm like, a man doesn't like a woman who's independent. And you're like, and 8 of you started talking all at once. Like, it's actually retarded. Because I said the exact same thing, phrased in a different way. And then you guys lose your absolute crap. So when a woman is independent, it shows like, wait, why is she so independent? Maybe her father didn't provide for her. Maybe she has family issues. Why is she so independent? Is she going to be the one who provides? There's obviously something not psychologically there that'll make her a great traditional stay-at-home mom. So that's why men don't find independent women attractive, because it shows that they had some type of trauma as a child or a teenager or a young adult that makes them not want to be with that woman, because guess what? Men like women who have the least amount of trauma
So
possible.
do you
And
want
then
them to be
also to add to
codependent?
that-
Yeah.
Would that be attractive to you, or like
I like nice
you want them to
things.
be codependent or independent?
But I would also
Do you
say,
want me to use a man?
Right.
Do you want me to-
I would like
but
my
you don't
woman-
like clingy women. So most men don't like.
He didn't
clingy
even say
women.
anything about clean.
And you
It's
don't want
not
women
about
to
that.
be.
It's like just saying
Well, it's like,
in
it's how
general,
you
he doesn't
define
want an
clingy.
independent woman, so
Riley's
he must want
21
one that's
years
clingy.
old. He's not looking for someone.
Shut the fuck up.
Riley's
one person at a fucking time.
Riley's-
How many times do I gotta fucking tell you guys? God damn.
All right.
One at a fucking time, okay? God damn.
Come back to the table, Ryan.
Damn, Riley is 21 years old. He's not at that level where he's thinking like, oh, this and that. He's looking for the ideal partner. He's set himself up correctly. He's basically raised himself to have a career. He's done everything the right way. When it comes to someone who's had a difficult life, when they're older, they're going to look for someone else who can understand that. They don't want to marry someone like Riley, where it's like, you're not going to understand this life.
That's
So
how
it's-
I feel, because I'm like, I would love to be dependent on somebody, but I feel like I was put in a position where I have to rely on
The guy with
myself
drug
for my
abuse.
kids. I have
Yes,
kids. Like,
yes.
There's no way, like, I think it would be unattractive if I was not independent as a mom.
And you're on
So you should
welfare
find-
and like
you should
you're
find a man
lifelong.
that is going to be someone who's wounded by a similar experience and will understand that pain and compliment you and give you that life that you've always sought. I've seen that happen before.
Exactly.
Many times.
I think there's a complete difference between saying that you're dependent or independent and being codependent. Codependent is like a partnership. It's not completely dependent on someone. It's not trying to push someone else away from you at the same time.
There are different types of dependency. Like you can be like financially dependent on someone while still being able to handle yourself emotionally, being able to.
I would
parent.
want my wife to be somewhat emotionally dependent on me. Somewhat.
Like to ask you every time she has a feeling and wants
No,
to ask.
just somewhat.
Just to run it by.
Just somewhat. Maybe about half. But with financials, entirely.
Yeah. Listen, just to be clear, there's nothing wrong with your stance. In fact, I agree with your stance.
That's great.
But some women, like me and Hannah, we have to provide for our children. Okay, I'm 41 years old. I don't want to rely on mommy and daddy. Why? So they can also control me? No, thank you. I also like nice things. I like to travel. I just like those things in life. And if I'm going to be sitting around waiting on Prince Charming, I'm not going to be getting those things.
Well,
So.
to be honest, it's because you're in your 40s. That's why it won't happen.
Wait, Riley,
Why,
you
what
said you
won't
want
happen?
you
That
said
Prince
you,
Charming's not going to come
I don't
come
want
along.
Prince Charming.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
I was gonna say
You
you
don't.
want her to be emotionally dependent on you. You want her to be
Yeah.
financially dependent on you. Cool. I understand that's your preference. What if you like? Obviously, this isn't the case. But you turn out to be this evil person. You fuck her over. You cheat on her. And it's
I'm
not
not.
always a self. I'm not saying you are. I'm not talking about you as a person, as an
Okay.
individual. I'm just saying in a hypothetical, the man does that, and it's not always a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, but what if he's not? Like, Riley doesn't strike me as a man who's going to cheat on his wife. He's been thinking about
Obviously
her needs and
not.
wanting to prioritize her, whatever. So there's plenty of men who are going to
Or
give her that
you could
life.
rephrase
Yeah,
it.
there's
Women
plenty of
are
good
also
men.
about
There's
women.
plenty of bad men.
You can maybe you could
There's
rephrase
plenty
it
of
in
good
a
women,
way.
and there's plenty of bad women too.
Okay,
You
it's
can
not-
rephrase it in a way that maybe like, oh, what if a girl who's dependent on the man, then the man cheats on her instead of bringing up me into it? Is
Okay,
that- then that's
it was,
me,
I
that'd
was
be
not
somewhere.
actually ever about
Yeah.
you.
No. I know. I'm just being technical
Yeah,
with it.
cheats
but,
on her. Just
Okay.
like turns out to be like a really bad person. Isn't a good father. Like there's so many different factors that can make a man not a good
Well,
candidate.
you know,
for a
sometimes in
relationship.
life you have to roll
Suddenly-
the dice.
I'm still talking.
You have to roll
Suddenly
the
she's
dice.
in a position where, like, what's she gonna do? She has a kid. She's got to worry about all that.
You just said, "Oh, I'm still talking." I've probably been the nicest with not interrupting people.
Me
Well, you
saying
haven't
I'm
been
still
nice.
talking wasn't
You
an
asked me if my
attack to you.
PTSD came from a paper cut.
Right,
So
you
Yeah, but that
don't sit
wasn't
there
an
and
interruption.
Okay, but me saying I'm still talking wasn't that
You're still
hostile.
salty about that. That had nothing to do with women.
Well, you would
she
be
was,
too.
She was talking, and while she was talking,
Okay,
you said,
can we
That was,
continue?
that was a good reminder.
Yeah, whatever.
That was a good reminder. It was a
Whatever.
good
Well,
way
it's
to
also
remind
like a
him that it was still
stereotype.
your turn.
I
don't think it was a bad thing at all.
To be completely transparent, I did tell a fib in my relationship status. I'm not engaged. I've actually been married. I am a married woman. I have way more money than my husband does. Way more money. I did not get a prenup, namely because I have full trust in my husband. If he betrays me, then sure, that'll be agony. But at the end of the day, when you get married, you have to give them full trust. Otherwise, why are you getting married to them?
Okay, but you
But
has to be full
one
trust
has
in
so
each
much
other.
more
Now
to
we
lose.
have a mega
It is. I agree with
And
you.
he's more nuanced.
Trust
That's
in
the
each
thing.
other.
You have to look for the qualities that you need in a spouse. You need to look for a man who's going to be a good husband, a
Why
good
did we
father.
lie about
you
the
can't
husband?
You
go
do,
with
and it
just
flops.
emotional
That's what happened with
instincts.
my parents.
We're acting like men don't pretend to be
That's
good
what
people
happened
and
with my
then
parents.
just
No, can you
switch
repeat
up.
it again?
I said
people don't.
one has a lot more
Most
to lose
people
in that
do
situation,
pretend to
like
be good
financially
people.
in terms
If we're
of.
lying, I'm
And
talking.
what happened to your parents?
I mean, I don't really like airing this out in public, but
You just mentioned
I
it,
know,
though,
I understand.
So that's why. Okay.
But my dad was the perfect husband. He showed up in every way necessary, and then he cheated on her.
So then he's not the perfect husband.
Yeah, but up until
But
that
that's what
point,
she's saying.
everything was
She-
perfect.
yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I'm sorry, girl. I'm very sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's
People
really
I know that's
hard.
rough. I'm
That's really
sorry.
hard. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
People
But
can
that's the
end
thing. The thing is that when it comes to men like that, it's like if they're career driven, and I argue that for the same thing for men, if they're career driven or materialist driven, saying I'm going to provide this for a woman, then yeah, they might think an indiscretion is okay because they provide whatever. That's actually what happened with my grandpa. It super traumatized my mom too much. But still, I'm like, if a man doesn't prioritize family, if his conviction is not, I want to do this for my wife, for my children, then that's not a good man. If he's saying, I want to do this because that's how you get women, then that's kind of an
that's a
indication
bad
of he's going to look around and justify himself.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I
people
think that-
change. I think it's just hard because people change. Like
Yeah.
I to this day will say I think I married the right guy. I will stand by that. I think that he changed, and I think that that affected me and my kids.
I really
He was
don't
a
think-
different man
like,
20 years later than when she first married
I
him.
really don't think people change. I think they just get
do.
revealed. I think they get revealed because I think
changed
whatever's
themselves
already
over
there
20 years.
will manifest it. Especially if there's money in the equation, money will make the worst toxic qualities out of you come out. So if a woman is
It
throwing
wasn't
themselves,
money, it was loneliness. Like, and it is for a lot of men. They'll
When
cheat
it
because they're
comes-
lonely.
I know.
When
I
it
know.
comes to
Was it a
marriage,
dead bedroom?
Loneliness epidemic.
No.
when it comes to
Well,
marriage,
that's a hard
before
question.
people are getting married, they are asking the wrong questions. They're not asking the right questions, or at least before they get married, to know if those people align.
And what
So
kind of
that's
questions
when
do you think
people
that
are
would be?
getting revealed as this person you didn't think they were because you weren't asking the right questions.
Gotta move it
what
on.
questions
Gotta
are
move
you
it on.
supposed to ask?
Sorry.
Exactly.
Hold on.
Because my mother asked all the right questions.
Yo, Shona, read this for us, please. We have a chat coming through. Thank you, Ty.
Big fan, Brian. I'm from Andrew's fan base. Just wanted to say that I keep to myself, but want to give Chair One her props for standing her ground and always returning. She's dope.
All right, nice little comment for you there, Shona. Thank you, Ty. Appreciate it. How tall are you, and what's the minimum height of a man you would date?
I'm 5'4", or almost 5'5", actually. Minimum height 5'7".
Okay. Have you ever had a boyfriend?
No.
Okay. What about you?
5'1", and the minimum I would say probably 5'7".
Okay. How tall? You're in a relationship, right? Or you're married?
I'm married.
How tall is your husband?
He's 5'9".
Okay. What about you?
I'm 5'6", and the shortest I guess I'll go is 5'7", 5'8".
And you're also married?
Yes.
How tall is your husband?
5'9".
Okay. What about you?
I'm 5'6", and I wouldn't really say I have a minimum. I mean, I think I put 5'2",
Yeah.
but doesn't matter to me.
Okay. How tall is your boyfriend or whatever?
I think he's 5'9".
Okay. What about you?
I'm 5'6". I think I put 5'7".
And you're married or?
Yeah.
Yeah. How tall is he?
He's 6 foot.
Okay. What about you?
I'm 5'5". I can't remember. I put 5'10" or 5'11".
5'11".
Either one for me.
Yeah.
And my fiance is 6'3".
Okay.
I got lucky.
I'm 5'3.5", and my partner is 5'10", and I think I put 5'9".
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You?
I'm 5'8". I mean, height is great because it makes me feel more feminine, but I dated a guy that was 5'9".
You
I'm
say
saying-
that as if to be 5'9", which is the average male height, as if it's
No,
something
I think I'm taller
defective.
for a woman. So
You
I'm
are.
saying I like to like it would be nice, a good preference to have somebody taller just because it makes me feel more feminine. But my first boyfriend after my divorce was 5'9", and that wasn't like.
But it
ever
seemed
an
like
issue.
that's a deficit, even though you would, like it's.
Well, because I do want to feel feminine. I do want to feel like.
I think it's
small.
fair.
You want to feel small, yeah.
Be able to wear heels and rush a tower.
What about you?
5'1", so like I think I put 5'6".
Okay, next.
I'm 5'6", 5'7", depending on my hip placement of the day. But I like short kings. I've dated short kings before.
Okay, next.
5'5", 5'7".
All right, Riley, do you have any height preferences or?
Just probably shorter than 5'8", or 5'8" and shorter. around
How
there.
tall are you?
Dang it, Riley.
5'10".
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't really.
What about you, Brian?
Oh, I mean, I don't really have a massive height preference. I'll date shorter. I'll even date taller.
Okay.
I guess some men have an apprehension to dating like women who are
Much taller.
much. I think some men might have an apprehension to dating taller women, but I don't care. It'd make for better athletes, I guess. Like bigger sons. That's always a good thing. But like in terms of like general attraction, I would say have a general attraction to petite women. But for sons, like give me like a 6'5", just fucking not fat,
Linebacker.
not fat, but
You
like,
like a thick.
she's sturdy, you know, for the children,
For the children,
for the sake of the
The
children.
childbearing hips.
No miscarriages.
I'll sacrifice my like actual interests, like my actual preferential attraction for the sake of having warrior children, I guess. Let's see here. Any disagreements with the show, Shona? Yeah. You think they push the narrative against women too much, says Griselda. Okay, what do you mean by that?
I have followed the show for a while, and I just feel like sometimes they push it too much, you know, especially you.
Give me an example.
I don't know, just earlier, probably when you were saying that, you know, that you wouldn't, well, also him, that you wouldn't date someone that makes more money than you. Like, I feel like if, you know, a woman making more money disqualifies her or, like, makes her unattractive. I think that's, I don't know.
Sure, well-
I find that weird.
Okay, so I guess we can probably do split here. Well, one, I didn't quite state that. That was Riley's position. So
Wait, can you restate the question? Can you
I'm going to reject your request. So anyways, back to this. So, yeah, I don't think it's wrong for a man to have a preference on a woman's income. And if that means like he just doesn't care at all about her income, I think that's totally fine. I don't think, mind you, though, you wrote this before the show started, before this revealed conversation. I don't see how that would be a narrative against women. It almost seems like it's actually a privileged position for women to be in, for men to be willing to take on essentially the entire financial burden in a relationship. That actually seems like that's to the benefit of women.
I mean, I feel like some women might appreciate that. I don't, because like she said, I'm very independent. I mean...
Okay, so a billionaire comes along and he's like, a condition of you being with me, let's assume he meets all your other criteria, is you have to stop working. Do you take the deal?
No. Hell no.
That's retarded. I'm sorry. That's so retarded. So even as a man, where I have like a sort of, there's a biological imperative to provide, if a billionaire woman comes to me, is like, hey, Brian, yeah, I'll be with you. And so she meets all my other criteria. And she's like, hey, I'm a billionaire. You don't have to work. Let's just like fuck me all day and take care of the children. I'm taking the fucking deal. Like, I'm taking that deal. But it's amazing to me that women, where your biological imperative isn't even to provide.
I wouldn't. I would get super fucking bored.
What do you do for work?
I actually am a business owner. I mean, I do everything.
Okay, you're a business. What business do you own?
I own 2 vegan restaurants.
You own vegan restaurants?
Yes.
So just to be clear,
she's serious.
By the way, restaurant business, I understand, is a lot of work. It's stressful.
Hell yeah.
And you own 2 of them, 2 restaurants. A billionaire man comes along.
No, vegans don't play.
Hell no, we don't.
Well, I mean, if a billionaire man was in the picture, you could go way further with your vegan activism than owning 2 restaurants. But
wait, Brian, I have a question for you. Do you ever have like for example, like for me during the summer, like you have a block of time where you have nothing to do, no routine, no productivity, nothing that you're working towards, and feel really like intellectually understimulated?
Intellectually understimulated.
Or just like sometimes productivity actually feels really good.
I mean, my goal is to be pumping out like 7 children.
How many do you have?
Huh?
How many do you have?
Well, I'm a little slacking on that, but it's in the works. But
you have 30 years.
I got some time. To do it, but
just never.
I mean, my whoever I'm going to end up with, she's going to be plenty preoccupied with the children, and I honestly want her to be homeschooling them. So she's going to have.
Them.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to send them to the school to get transed.
If I could homeschool, I would. I agree.
Is raising children not productive?
Yeah. I'm saying like it is productive, but some women like might have aspirations beyond that and still
that's
and also like before the time that they're having children or after the time as their children
closer
get
to
older.
Closer to the mic.
Oh yeah,
I mean, you've just been propagandized.
Yeah.
This idea that
I genuinely have the desire to work one day. Like,
really? Why? Where did you get that desire?
Because I want to go into healthcare. I want to contribute to the healthcare system.
Why? Why so much?
Because it's interesting to me.
Who taught you that?
And I care about it.
Who taught you to want that?
No one taught me
because
that.
Because it is instilled in your biology to want to have children and to raise children. It is not instilled in your biology to have some boss lady career.
But not every desire that humans have is instilled into their biology.
Wait, can I ask a question? What do you think about me not taking purposely? Because my ex-husband is a millionaire, and I could take a lot of money from him, and I don't. What do you think about that?
Why are you bringing that up? You love to bring.
I'll get it there. I'll get there in a second. What do you think about that?
I mean, that seems somewhat noble of you.
Okay, so then in some terms, you're okay with independent women. Because
I just said
it's because I'm independent that I'm able to do that.
But going back to the Griselda point, I think the reason Griselda's not going to date a billionaire is because, passionately speaking, she wants a man who's going to give her that electricity, and it's like that's what she's biologically wired to do. She doesn't want a man who's just going to give her money. She wants a man who's going to give her passion.
I really don't. I mean, I can provide.
It's just like pragmatically super retarded. It's like
it is.
Like I have like. A passion for, espousing some of this shit. But if some like super hot, big labia billionaire woman comes along and she's like, Brian, give me 7 children. But hey, look, I want you to be an active father and like this podcast. Look, you're successful. Maybe you make like 7 figures a year or whatever. But like, come on.
Sweep that off the table.
I thought you wanted a woman.
I'm taking the fucking deal. Like I'm taking the fucking deal.
So if it's a woman with a big labia, let's say, who's going to appeal to your sexual lust.
Canceled everything you
if it's a woman with a big labia that meets all of your physical and lust requirements, would you choose that over a billionaire woman?
So wait, okay, she has a big labia, but she's broke.
She's a billionaire who's going to sweep you off your feet. She's
tiniest
say, you know
labia
what?
you've ever seen.
Podcast, I'll take you away from it. You're going to choose what's going to make you feel emotionally like this is what I want.
So you
Same
think
thing with Griselda.
what do you here? I'll give you my answer, but what do you think I'm going to pick?
Big labia.
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
that's crazy.
Yeah, how's
Deny
that?
yourself.
Everything
Whoa,
you just
hold on.
said has been
I thought
reversed.
you have the
Stop,
option
stop,
to just
stop.
lay back.
Bro,
Why
what? Yeah,
wouldn't
like,
you take it?
look, I like a woman with big labia, but like,
With big what?
I don't think
How
you
long
under-
is that gonna last?
I don't think you understand. Well, it's gonna get longer over.
Unless you have a labia plastic.
But Brian, let me ask you: if you found this miracle billionaire woman with a gigantic labia, what would you do if you're married? You have 7 children with her.
Wow, snort.
You have 7 children with her. Very attractive, yeah. Thank you. You have 7 children with this billionaire woman with a gigantic labia, even bigger than her bank account.
Yeah.
What would you do if she got a labiaplasty after you had children?
Oh. And it was bothering her. She was
this would
miserable.
be a conversation. This would be a conversation, and I would strongly guide her away from it. And given the type of relationship dynamic I want, I would hope she would defer to my leadership on this particular issue. But I'm assuming in the hypothetical, granting that she's going to do it regardless.
Yes, exactly.
She's a billionaire.
Yes.
I thought you didn't like a boss babe.
That's what I thought
I'm
too.
so confused.
Okay. And another
so you
thing.
do like a boss babe, right?
If a woman were to get a labiaplasty,
I mean, you just admitted
if a
to it.
woman were to get a labiaplasty, would you prefer that it's a reduction or an increase? And this increase would go to 6 inches.
No woman would get an increase.
Which would you prefer?
I don't think they have the. I don't think they actually. I mean, they could.
Which one would you prefer? A labiaplasty, totally getting rid of it, like female genital mutilation, just a hole there, 2 holes. Or would you prefer them to get an extension? Would you prefer them to get an extension, make it 6 inches?
Oh, God.
Wait, so this is a labia question, yes?
Yes.
Oh,
you're the labia guy.
I don't think they can. I don't know if they can even do extensions.
They put
but
2
yeah,
deli ham slices there.
Extension.
You'd go for the extension.
I'd take the
Or
flex.
maybe
Wouldn't that kind of be
maybe
like
they
a
put
dick, though?
Botox in it.
Brian
it would
has
just
a
be
fetish.
weird, like. But if I had
For real, you really would.
Huh?
You really would.
Between
Just
so she
the
gets the
choice.
labiaplasty and she has an innie versus she had an outie, but then the outie's
I'm not
bigger.
talking an any. I'm talking like
Just
female
like a
genital
little
mutilation. Like there's 2 holes there left over. That's it.
Yeah, there's no lips.
Yeah,
Oh.
nothing.
I mean,
Yeah,
porn
she can-
stars do that.
The extension. I'll take the extension.
The 6-inch extension.
Yeah, I take it, bro. I take it. I'll
that's
tie
gay?
it into a knot.
Raise your hand if you think that's gay.
I'll tie it into a fucking
He
knot.
wants to dive into it.
Wait, if what?
It's gay.
What's gay?
Do you think that's gay?
What?
6-inch labia.
No,
Brian's
not at
fetish.
all.
No,
Looking
like it's a different,
It's just more pussy.
different body.
It's more pussy.
Oh my god, that's true. Women get yeast infections
so
from gigantic
heterosexual,
labias.
it's
Women get a lot
more
more
pussy.
problems.
I don't think it's gonna look
more to
like
love.
that.
So pussy does rule the world then.
I almost feel like it's gay. Wait. It's gay to not like outies. Because
mean
it's like
labia? Are you talking about
labia? Now it's just like. Never mind. I'm not going to go there.
Is it an outie a sign of higher testosterone on average?
You know what?
pretty sure it is.
I have some theories. Like, for example, I've noticed sometimes women who have a bit more body hair, like some arm hair, I look at them, I'm like,
No, this is
she
from
might
personal
have she might have an outie. Like,
This is from personal experience, not from looking.
I have some theories, you know.
Well, typically
Pattern
when it comes to
recognition.
high-powered men in stressful positions, which I would qualify Brian as being in, he likes dominant women who are just going to take control
Wait,
from
what
him.
the fuck?
So by that logic, it makes sense for the lobby equation.
He just said he wants a woman to defer to him, to be submissive.
He could say that, but the big labia, hairy arms, maybe she has
wants
a
to
big
be dominated by the labia, that's all it is.
Labia.
Yeah, but it's
His
still
dream woman is a billionaire.
Labia. It's not a lot like a hotel lobby. Labia.
It's still
on
a
your favorite
woman.
subject.
It's still a woman.
No, that doesn't
Subject
mean-
matter.
that
It doesn't make it gay. It's still
It's
a
not
woman.
gay. I argue
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's not gay. But what I'm saying is, if you want a woman with extra testosterone and you're in a high control group, typically men who are in those high positions like dominant women, because it gives them
I
a
don't
way
like
of letting
dominant women,
go
though.
of control.
Hold on,
big
that's-
T.
wait,
You said
wait, this
you'd
is
be
like-
with a billionaire.
Why you don't like
Wait,
masculine?
hold
That's
on.
actually true. You said you would be with a billionaire woman over the love of
This
your
isn't
life.
this isn't contrary to my position.
It is very much contrary.
No, because
You want a feminist boss.
He said a
didn't say love of
billionaire.
his
He
wife,
said that a
though.
billionaire is an exception, not the rule.
Hold on. Yeah.
Okay, well, you just said you don't like independent women, too.
You guys are attributing like things that don't even exist. First off, recall when I said she's a billionaire, but she meets my other metrics, right?
Yeah.
So like my other metrics would be like she defers to my leadership, she's submissive, etc. So no, I don't have an attraction to dominant women. I find them quite off-putting.
Is independent dominant though? Like if you're an
No,
independent
but
woman,
we were
would
talking
you
about dominant. Her claim was dominant women.
Would you like a woman with a bigger labia than your gender?
Labia.
I swear you just started saying that.
She can. She can.
My labia.
I'm fine with that. I mean,
He's
that'd
very
be
secure
pretty.
in
That's
his
like some
manhood.
world record fucking labia, though.
Wait, have you ever heard of an O shot or a P shot?
Shot?
Yeah, I'm wondering what you think about O shots and P shots.
I don't know what that is.
So it's you get your blood drawn, and dare I say I've had this done. You get your blood drawn, and they separate the plasma from the blood, and the plasma has stem cells. And if you're a man, you inject the tip. If you're a woman, you inject the clit and the vaginal walls, and it's supposed to make you orgasm 100 times
Is that
better.
how you got the big labia?
What? You did that?
No, I got this after the labia plasty.
Is that real?
Yeah.
That's a real thing?
That's a real thing, yep. And it works. Yeah.
You got it?
I don't know.
I got it
I'm
done,
not
yeah.
sure.
Oh, damn.
What are your thoughts?
Where were
on
we?
it?
I totally forgot where we were. I don't even know. We're talking
Wait, how
about
does it do that?
height. We're talking about height.
What are the pros to this?
Dating requirements.
What's that?
What about
What are
birth
the
control?
pros?
Disagree.
I'm against.
What about it?
I'm against. It goes to hormone and all this stuff. It's
But
really
it prevents
not
accidental pregnancy, which under your worldview, I would assume
We good for
prevents
this, Brian?
abortion. Okay.
What's that?
Birth control debate?
Yeah, for a few minutes.
All right, cool.
non-hormonal is
Yeah,
okay.
so essentially birth control changes the type of man that a woman finds attractive. So like, let's say you're on birth control when you're in high school. You meet a guy, he's great, he's so nice. He's only 5'8", but whatever. You find him, he's a nice guy. He's going to be a computer scientist or whatever. You get married to him, then you're like 28 years old, and you're like, hey, let's have some kids. So you get off birth control. And then what happens is when you get off that birth control to have kids or whatever, your natural state of what you find attractive will then shift to a more masculine type of guy. So then when you have like 2 kids already, you're like, crap, I haven't found my husband attractive in like 5 years. But geez, Tyrone from high school being very, high testosterone or whatever, he's very attractive. I'm going to go cheat on my husband. I'm going to get a divorce with my husband. He's a wimp.
I think
That's
it's
what
a
happens.
crazy reach to say that.
Yeah, that was like
getting off birth control is going
No, I was just naming it.
happens.
With
That's
birth
a
control?
real thing
Wait,
that
so
happens.
so
It's
the phenomenon that Riley's talking about and that she's agreeing with is that when women are taking hormonal birth control, they have done studies on this, and I think I'm not sure the exact methodology, but they'll like show women pictures of faces of men, and they'll use like men who have more feminine characteristics versus men who have more masculine characteristics.
Yeah, okay.
And when women are on birth control, they actually find men who have more like feminine, soft features more attractive when they're on hormonal birth
So
control.
imagine what
I don't
happens
think
when
that
you get off.
attraction would completely plummet to the ground and do a 180.
I don't
Unless you
know.
would then
I don't
cheat on
think,
him. That's
but
a
I
huge
don't think the
slippery
claim
slope.
is it's like, okay, they know like it's to degrees.
Yeah, but I
It's
don't
to
think that
degree.
degree would be
You're
much.
against
Some
birth
women-
control? That's what I'm
Yes, I think
understanding?
birth control should be banned. Also, birth control causes an abortion at a very early stage, at around 5 days. So essentially, you can still conceive when you're on birth control. The main function of birth control is to prevent ovulation. The secondary function of birth control is that if you do conceive, it'll thin the lining of your uterine wall so much that the conceived egg can not implant on the uterine wall. So for that reason, birth control should be banned because it is murder, because abortion is murder. It's quite common sense, actually. And then the other reason is because it makes women want to divorce their husbands. If you actually look at the birth control usage rates and divorce rates, they actually perfectly coincide with like a 3-year delay. It is perfectly coincided. If you look at divorce rates in America from like 1960 to modern day to birth control rates from 1960 to modern day, perfectly coincides with it. And so, birth control changes the type of man that you find attractive. So when you get on it or off of it while you're with a guy or married to him, there's a really likely chance that you will not find him attractive anymore. And that's the main reason why the majority of divorces are initiated by women nowadays.
I have